Well, hello everybody. Today we're going to make a nameplate. We're going to start by creating a sketch on the front plane. We're going to give that sketch a name, and then we'll toggle our planes off by tapping the P on the keyboard and looking at the front view of our design. Our nameplate is a rectangle and with rounded corners. One of the tools we can use to round the corners off is called the sketch fillet. Hangs out on the top tool ribbon. Shift F is the shortcut to get there. By clicking the sketch fillet, we can either select the corners or we can select a pair of lines to form the location of the sketch fillet. To adjust the size of the fillet, we can drag the arrow or we can click an empty space and type in a value. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add circles for holes, and those holes will be aligned with the midpoints of the. We're going to align those holes with the midpoints of the sides of the nameplate. So you can find the side of the mid side of the tongue tied here, side of the plate, and if you hover over the line on the left or right edge, you'll find the midpoint. So I don't want to select the midpoint, but I do want to be near it. I also want to be aligned with the center point of my fillet. So I'm going to hover by those and then bring my mouse into the spot where both of those are visible. So you can see the yellow, what do we call those? The yellow yellow inference lines. You can see the vertical and horizontal constraint. If I click now, that's going to allow me to create the center point of the circle aligned with the center of the fillet and the midpoint of the side vertically. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Slide over, find that inference spot where both are highlighted. Single click and create the edge of the circle. I'd like my two circles to be equal to each other. So we're going to go up to our constraints menu and grab the equal constraint, or we could have selected the E key is the shortcut. And now both of those are equal. Now I need to put dimensions on this thing, and I would like to use variables. Variables will allow me to change the size of the object without going into the sketch. So over on the right-hand side, you'll see the variable table button. By clicking on the variable table button, I can open up and see a set of variables. I don't want to create a new variable studio down at the bottom. I do not. No. I do want to just start up here, and by clicking the variable table in the name spot, and I'm just going to start with some basic variables. We'll start with width, and then we'll do height. No, not height. We'll do thickness. For the thickness of the material we're going to make. And then we'll do outside radius. And one thing I want you to note about that's important to note about variables is I have this variable that I've named with two words. I can't have a space in between. If we put a space in between, the Onshape will get mad at us and not let us have it. So what I've done is I've given a capital letter at the beginning of each word so I can read that outside radius, but I don't have to don't have to have a space. And then we'll throw hole diameter. And same thing, all diameter. Okay, so now I have my 4 variables set up. Let's give them some values. Let's set the thickness at 0.185 inches. We'll set the width at 5 inches. We'll set the outside radius at 0.75. And we'll set the hole diameter at 1/4. Okay, so now those have been set up. And you'll see they all appear in my features browser on the left. So now my name, and they're before the nameplate. So the nameplate sketch exists here. All the variables exist on the left. And now we can go ahead and close that out. It's not really closing, we're just hiding it. And let's start putting our dimensions on. Now the dimensions work just like they do without variables. But now, since I've created the variable, I can just start typing the name of the variable from the menu. And you can see I started typing outside radius, type OUT, and this pops up as an example. I'm going to choose that, enter. So now that matches. And then we'll go into the next one. We've got we use dimension from this line to this line. I'm going to call that one width. So W. So that automatically picks up. There we go. Ooh, that looks kind of funny. And then I want the distance from here to here. We'll call that width. And there you go. And then we've got the hole diameter. Nope, not that. That's not what I wanted. I want that. No, I don't want that. What I do want is to dimension the edge of the circle. So there you go. So you probably saw me make a mistake. Maybe you caught that, maybe you didn't. I wanted to put a diameter on the circle, and I accidentally clicked the center and failed to deselect that center point. And that wound up giving me a dimension from the center to the edge, which is a linear dimension, and that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is a dimension of the radius or diameter of the circle. You see it's giving me a diameter symbol, so that's what I was looking for. So be aware that where you click matters when it comes to dimensioning your circles. And what did we call that? We called that hole diameter. So H, you see hole diameter is what I want, and green check. Now that doesn't look bad, but I don't think I want this to be a square. Matter of fact, I know I don't want to make this be a square. So rather than changing this variable to a different variable or creating a new variable, I think I just want this height of the plate to be proportional to the width. So I'm going to make this half. So I'm going to just hit the space bar, hit the divided by symbol, and 2. So now it's going to be width divided by 2. And there it is. So there's my nameplate dimensions, at least the sketch dimensions. And I've used a variable. And let's hit that save. And now it's time to extrude that to make it in a 3D shape. So hit the extrude button in the upper left here. And then we'll select the area we want to extrude. And we're going to call that nameplate. And for the thickness, just like we did in our sketches, we can use our variables. So I'm just going to start typing the variable name, and you see thickness pops up. So click the thickness, and then check. And there it is. There is the board for my nameplate. In the next video, I'll show you how to design some engraving to put on that. We're going to mill that out. So hope that was clear for you. Good luck. Have fun. And as always, keep being awesome.